And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
Stop for a moment. Stop. Think about all the things you've been through. Think about those moments where you had to make those toughest decisions. Oh my gosh. So there I was in the senior center with a nurse and a person from hospice. And they share with me, your dad is nearing the end. And you have to make a decision. Do we take him to the emergency room and do we keep him alive? Or do you let him pass? Now, if you've ever had to make this decision before, it can be gut-wrenching, no doubt about it. And in that moment, you're thinking to yourself, I have this person's life in my hands. And for a lot of us, unless we're in the medical field or emergency field, we don't know what that experience is like. And it's a very interesting position that we're in when we're losing a loved one. And in that moment, I thought to myself, what got us to this point? What got us to this point where I'm in this room and I'm making this decision? Whether my dad goes to the emergency room or whether he passes on. And as I look back on the situation and I look back at my relationship with where I was with my dad over the last 5 years of his life, I was there. I was with him. I was blessed. For a number of years, we weren't together as I was in the middle part of my life, and we didn't really spend much time together. But during the later years, I went out and visited him and realized that there was an opportunity that I could help him. And I spent time with he and his wife, and we made arrangements for them to come back to our home state of Michigan in the United States, from where they're at out in Arizona, so that we can make sure that he gets and his wife gets the medical care they deserve, and that somebody be there to be their advocate, which I had taken on that role as well as my sister. And in that moment, when I had to make that decision, I thought, for 5 years, I've made so many smaller decisions than the decision I'm making today. But every one of those decisions was thought about, was assessed, and I made that decision because at the time it was the right thing to do. Now, I can play, as we say in the United States, Monday morning quarterback and look at the football game yesterday and tell everybody what should have been done. But who cares? That time has passed. And in my situation with my father, I realized that there's nothing I can do to change what I did or did not do. As Dale Carnegie would say, I did the very best I can. So do the very best you can is a motto to live by, as Dale Carnegie shared. And that's true in all of our communications and our relationships with people, to do the very best we can. And when I made that decision, I felt secure in my decision, what I chose to do that day. But like all of you, I wanted a vote of confidence. And I remember I called my brother. And I said, here's where I'm at. Here's the situation with Dad. Here's the decision that I'm making. And my brother said to me, he goes, you don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me the decision you're making, because it's the right decision. How cool is that? That he had the understanding to say that. And I said, thank you. And I made that decision that day. And you've made a lot of these decisions in your life, and you will make a lot more of these decisions. So it's interesting because here on Effective Communication, we talk about how do we really connect with people. And you already have so many ways you've connected with people, loved ones in your life. So the next time you go to give a presentation or speak in front of a group of people or go in front of that meeting, remember, you have confidently overcome some of the greatest challenges in your life because you assessed the situation, you took command, you made it happen in those situations. And I do know that Anxiety is the number one thing going through people's heads that hold them back from being effective as communicators. So I'm going to challenge you today to remind yourself of all the decisions you have made. You're confident, you're strong, and you can make the difference you want to make. So don't be anxious. Be confident. You're a strong person. And in every presentation, it will go wonderfully. You know why? Because it's you giving it, and it's part of you you're sharing with other people. Remember that. Take solace in that. You've got this. Now go make it happen.